Malicious compliance to malicious compliance. I run a repair shop where I employ a bunch of local kids, ages 16 plus, to learn skills and make some money while we generally sit around and talk about the world while we fix things. We had a client come in with a busted electronic. We fixed it up for her and gave her a decent discount on the work. Her final bill for parts and 4 hours of labor was $100 even, discounted down from $220. She didn't like the bill. She didn't like the work. She claimed that we'd broken something else. She claimed that the kid who did the work didn't know what she was doing. She did. And I had supervised her. And that the kid who helped her in the front room was rude to her. He wasn't. But she didn't like the little pride flag pin he was wearing. She demanded to see the manager. So I popped out, listened to her tear into my kids, validated how she was feeling, but pointed out that the work she had asked for was done correctly, and her bill was due on pickup of the piece. The last straw for her came when she pulled out a credit card and I had to inform her that we don't accept that particular card. She literally asked me, "Do you know who I am?" Quote. Which I didn't. Still don't care. And I told her we'd take a personal check. She wrote out a check. Problem solved. I deposited the day's checks and got a note from my bank that one had bounced. Her check. Of course. I called her the next day to inform her that her check had been returned for insufficient funds, and that she'd need to come in and pay her bill, plus the extra fee for a returned check. All of these fees, just to point this out, were clearly outlined on the service agreement she'd signed, and we'd already discounted her $120, just to be nice. Anyway, she rolls up into the office carrying a bag, and I knew exactly what was going on. She drops, of course, a bag of pennies on the front desk. She's breathing heavily. We're on the second floor and she'd taken the stairs, and she announces triumphantly that she's here to pay her bill. She just needs to go get the rest of our hard-earned money. Said with a sneer. Of course. The kid at the front desk looks like he's about to cry. So I stop working on the thing I'm working on and take over. How many more bags do you have? I ask her. And she says that the nice people at the bank loaded them up in her car. She didn't count them. I told her that was fine. We'd wait for her to bring them all up and then settle up her bill. She was expecting a bigger reaction. I think, either that or she hadn't thought this through. 10,000 pennies. Plus the extra $25. Weighs a lot. And she'd just committed to carrying them through a parking lot and up a flight of stairs. One of my kids, bless his heart, offered to help her carry them. She refused. Finally, shaking and sweaty, she deposited the last of the bags on the countertop. The pennies were loose, not in coin rolls. She'd done some work to prove her point. What she hadn't counted on was that we'd need to count the pennies, while the other kids took care of other clients and fixed things in the back. The front desk guy and I counted up the pennies. She started to realize that this was going to take a while, and tried to leave. I told her that she couldn't leave until we'd signed off on her bill, since at this point she was in violation of her service agreement and had passed a bad check. We couldn't just take her word for it, and I would inform our local constabulary if she left without paying. I was kinda talking out of my ass, but she'd managed to tick me off a little. The other clients in the shop came and went, and we counted. Phone calls came in and were handled by my kids, and we counted. She sat down in a chair, folding steel, not super comfortable, stood up again, walked around the office, and we counted. After a while, she said, "Just forget it," and took out $125 in bills. We signed off on her agreement and she started to leave. Another one of my kids, bless his heart, asked her if she wanted help carrying the pennies back to her car. She looked at all of us with a face of sheer panic. mumbled, "No. Thank you. Just keep them," and bolted. The whole shop was silent for a moment. Then one of the kids started giggling. And nobody could stop. People coming in thought we'd gone nuts. And I finally had to banish everybody to the back room until they could breathe again. We loaded the bags into my vehicle. We used the elevator she'd walked by a few times, took them to the bank and used the coin machine to deposit them. Then wrote out a donation to our local shelter for the amount she'd dropped off. She posted something nasty on Facebook about it and got ratioed. She had, of course, posted earlier about what she was going to do, and she got called out with her own post. My favorite response was something like, "You said you were going to pay your bill in pennies. You paid your bill in pennies. What went wrong?" Quote, "Please don't pay your bills in pennies, folks. Especially if you're just doing it to be a dick." Yeah, you get quadruple points on this one. For helping out local youths. For being patient within a hole. For teaching youths how to deal with conflict calmly. And for the donation. We used the elevator she'd walked by a few times. I am at work, so I'm having a difficult time holding in my laughter. What an amazing cherry on top. Bless you for making the donation. This is very wholesome. Love it! Exclamation mark. This would have been a super cool place to work when I was a teenager. In 2022, I have YouTube videos to help me figure out how to fix things. But getting the chance to learn in a more structured environment would have been neat. I'm sorry, ma'am. There are 4 Canadian pennies. What appears to be a Chuck E. Cheese token. And 2 bottle caps. We cannot accept this payment. And she ended up paying more than the pre-discount amount. That response makes all kinds of sense. A wild Karen appeared. Wild Karen used malicious compliance. It wasn't very effective. Wild Karen hurt itself in its confusion. She clearly did not think it through, but that's just my 2 cents. Don't know where you're from. But here in Canada, above a certain amount a merchant was not required to take pennies. They in fact could refuse and request another form of payment. IDK. Like folding money? Since we ditched the penny, we might have that rule on the books for nickels, dimes, quarters, etc. Don't know. Take this silver award. You gave me much needed joy on this Monday morning. You weren't even malicious. She did it to herself. But I would have thrown a pizza party for the kids, and donated the rest. Can someone please explain ratio to me? I've even looked it up and I still don't get it. ELI 30 lol. Edit. Thanks for the awesome replies. It's all clear now and I can sleep tonight.
That woman had 0 cents.
She's going to swing on the next person who offers her a penny for her thoughts. You missed the opportunity of staging a picture with the comment, "Thanks to the lovely lady who donated $125 to our small change charity pot." The charity of the week is Trans Kids, with a picture of all the coins. You're not allowed to this in the UK. We used the elevator she'd walked by a few times. That is the best part of this story for me. Modern pennies are 2.5 grams. So $125 in pennies would weigh a little over 31 kilograms or 68 pounds. Maybe a bit more if there were enough pre-1982 pennies mixed in, which are mostly copper and weigh 3.1 grams. What a great business. Do you earn a living from the repair shop? Or is it mostly a training center? E.g. to teach vocational skills. And or to keep kids off the street? Edit. This is the most awesome life skills training. The kids are learning marketable skills. how to handle Karens, and all about delicious malicious compliance. I've read a lot of MC, but between you teaching those kids valuable life skills, and this Karen learning a valuable life skill, I'm with you on the can't breathe. Can't see through my tears. I'm laughing so hard, laughter. Rolling on the floor, laughing, rolling on the floor, laughing, rolling on the floor, laughing. Please accept my air, not pennies but poor man's gold? First place medal, first place medal, first place medal, sports medal, sports medal, sports medal, sports medal, sports medal, sports medal.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.